The question is, would you rather be able to teleport or time travel?
Teleport.
Okay, you said that very confidently.
Yeah.
Why?
Teleport. Time travel, it's causing too much drama. But teleport, to be able to just go, see you later, mate. I'm going to Dubai for a bit.
Oh.
I'm going to, I can see the, pyramids. I'm gone. And if you could do a bit like Jumper and take people with you, I'm gone.
It would cut down travel time, commute time. Oh, that'd be just dreamy and be cheap, free. You don't have to pay fucking flights anymore. Wait, can you take your suitcase with you in the teleport?
You don't need to.
Why?
Home, get changed, back.
Oh. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like you just don't need to.
But would you not just be like so interested to just time travel back to when the pyramids were being built?
No, but you got to understand that you'd come back and you'd start going mental.
Right.
You'd start to tell people, hey, mate, like you'd be that conspiracy theory guy.
Oh my God.
You don't understand. There was giants. It's like, put him in the home. He's gone.
Right,
do you know what I mean?
right.
Like too much information for one person is a curse. Same as money. Too much information is a curse. So it's like, how do you improve your standard of living now? Go that route every single time, because too much of one thing, you would go crazy.
But you could travel to the future and then have so much knowledge that you could literally be the most rich person and powerful person in the entire world, because you would change the entire course of Earth. You'd know exactly what to do to save everyone.
What if you traveled to the future and you seen something that was catastrophic and it was because that humans did it? So then you did the time travel and you figured out where we went wrong, and then you're out on the street trying to convince everyone we need to stop eating meat because it gets us to this place.
Right.
You'd always lose your shit.
Maybe that's what the first vegan did. Maybe they time traveled to the future, and that's...
Well, their message didn't last long. No one's vegan anymore. Remember that? And everyone was like fucking vegan. What was that blue TV show on Netflix? And it all came out. It was all bollocks.
Was it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Everyone's a big...
You hate vegans.
Well, I don't hate vegans. Listen, I think if you can be vegan and eat all that really healthy stuff, great. But what I don't like is if you're like vegan and then you're walking around in like Nike trainers. It's like, well, some little 5-year-old kid made them in Billy things. So you're worried about the cows, but you're not worried about the kids.
Right.
So like, what is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you're eating like fake meats out of...
I guess that, yeah, on that, there must get to a point where it becomes, like, if it's for ethics, like, it must get to a point where it's so hard to keep up with. Like, you have to be thinking about every single product that you're using, every single thread of clothes on your body, every single thing you're putting into your mouth, even your job and the business that you're working for. Is that ethical? Like, where does ethics end if that is the reason why you're a vegan?
That's, and if you've gone all the way, respect.
Yeah.
You've done it. Like, fair enough. And I've got respect for it. But if you're halfway and you're telling me that I shouldn't be eating, the milk, but you're walking around in leather, we got a problem. But it's same as being woke. It's like, how woke do you want to be? Because then you're looking for jobs that are on the same level as you are. You're looking for it. You all of a sudden you end up on your own. Crazy cat lady, because no one can go that far with anything.
Right.
So anyway,
Teleport,
100%.
You convinced me now, because I was like, I'm time travel and going straight back to the pyramids. But
Because teleport, you'd still have to get on with your day. You'd still have to have a job. You'd still have to have money. Time travel, you'd be so obsessed, you'd start going gym. Pepe'd be just gone.
Yeah.
He'd be at home just thinking, where's he gone? He's in bloody 1994 again. It's just...
You might come back to the present and everybody's aged 30 years. If you didn't know how to do it properly.
Imagine time travel back, you can't find your time again.
Can't find your way back.
Oh, God, that's makes me feel weird. That's like, I think, Interstellar when they go down. Interstellar? Whatever. And then they go down and it's like every minute is like a day up top.
Have you heard of the twin paradox? If you were to like keep one twin on Earth and then send one twin back up into space, when they got back, would they be the same age or something like that? They wouldn't. they would the twin. I can't remember. I think the twin that goes to space ages faster than the twin on. No, the other way around. Yeah, the twin on Earth carries on aging, but the twin in space that's moved faster than the speed of light hasn't changed, and so they get back and they be different ages. How? Make that make sense? It's fucked up. The Matrix. Let me tell you. Okay, the question. That's not the question. Is I mean,
well,
the
we
main
need a
question.
new jingle then.
We need a new jingle. Okay. The listener has written in. Every time I get into a good routine, I'm working out, eating well, smashing it at work, I end up blowing it. I'll go on a bender, ghost my friends, stop going to the gym. It's like I can't handle the progress. Why do I do this and how do I stop? Have you ever done that?
I did it last night, mate.
What did you do?
I had chicken burger, cheeseburger, potato tots.
Why do you... If I'm thinking, right, I'm going to really let myself go, like tater tots.
No, but it's like Patty Guy, where I'm from. It's a bit like Five Guys.
Oh, okay.
They're chips and potato tots.
Okay.
Banging. And then I smashed about 10 healthy digestive biscuits.
What do you mean healthy digestive
Well, they're
biscuits?
like these healthy ones we have for raw meat, but it's the only thing I can get my hands on.
So you ate literal baby food?
Yeah. At this point, I'd have
became a Hoover.
I'd have had a dog's biscuits if I could have found them. I was gone. You're always going to have a blowout. It's because we're human and you get to a point where you can't, you're doing everything right, but you just emotionally eat, drink, do drugs, whatever it is. And that's all right. But next day, get on with it, mate. Because this morning I'm up, I'm in the gym, got my oats and protein, I've had my healthy breakfast, and I move on. 365 days a year. If I have one of them every 2 weeks, it's only 25 days.
I guess it depends how long it takes you to recover from it.
Well, if it's alcohol and drugs, it's different.
Yeah, exactly. If it's alcohol and drugs and like the week after you're like not waking up because your alarm's going off and you're too tired, and so therefore you are really tired at work, you aren't going to the gym at all, you haven't done a grocery shop, so you're ordering delivery, and if it throws that off, and then for the next 3 weeks you're having to slowly peel everything back, that ain't right. But if it's what you're saying, like you have a blowout and then the next day you're like straight back into your routine and whatever, it's probably not going to be that damaging. However, if it's emotionally damaging you and you're actually not finding the value in it, and you don't wake up the next day and go, oh, so glad I did that actually, and it's becoming more and more frequent, then
the
what?
Thing is some people they self-destruct. I see this a lot with my clients. Like, you're on a road of looking great, feeling great, smashing it at work because your energy's high, your output's better. Sex life's going to be better, confidence is better. And then they get to a point where they destroy it to a point, and then so they have to kind of rebuild it back. And what you've got to understand is you've not made it when you get to that point. There's still another level you can go to, and then another level you can go to, and then another level. Like, don't feel like you've got to the top of the hill and you can take your foot off the pedal. Really successful, driven people know, like, once you get to that first bit, it's just level 1, baby. Then you got to go to level 2. But some people think they've reached the top, so they self-destruct, because on the way up, it feels more motivating. It feels like I can wake up and go get it. And then when you've got a great body, you've got a great physique, and you're looking healthy, looking where you need to be, you kind of don't have a goal. So that not having a goal makes you go, I'll start to slip on these things.
Well, I think that's from like a health and fitness perspective. And I think that, in this day and age, maintaining that is hard because you've got like so much fucking incredible, tasty, unhealthy food at your fingertips. And also just even going out for dinner, like with your mates, is just like something that's a really nice thing to do. But that food that you eat is like, killer of goals. So it's very hard, I think, to stay
No.
that consistent.
Disagree.
All the time.
When was the last time you went out with your friends for dinner?
Mm.
The fact that you have to think about it means it was a long time ago. Therefore, that is not a big enough barrier. It's not happening all the time. If you've got a really big social life and your friends are going out every week, even if it's every week and it was at one meal, you'd still be okay. People get so obsessed with, oh my God, it's impossible to be, healthy all the time. It's like, I want to be able to go out and have a drink. It's like, okay, go out and have a drink. It's not about you going out and have a drink. It's about you going out and have a drink and then going KFC on the way home. And then wake up next day and having a Domino's and feeling sorry for yourself and then feeling fat because you've eaten too much food. So then Monday you can't be asked.
Pressing the fuck it button.
Yeah, that's when it gets out of hand. Them little moments where, you think you want a coffee and a pastry, that's absolutely fine. You can have that and just move on. But what you need to deal with is why, when you have a pastry and a coffee, does that day then become, I've lost my shit and now I need to go mental? Or why, when you've gone out for a few drinks, does it then have to be an absolute write-off the next day? And that's what you need to figure out, because if you keep doing that, you're just taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
So, okay, that's that in health and fitness perspective. What about in a work perspective? Because on the last podcast, we touched very briefly on the routing, right? Which I'll recap again in case you didn't listen to last episode. Rooting is where you plant seeds, you let those roots grow, and then you get comfortable, and then you uproot and you plant new seeds, and you keep this process of rooting, which is always starting something new, getting it to a good place, and then screwing it over and starting something else, or planting new seeds and trying to manage too many roots at once, because you can't just be. You've always got to be taking action or doing something. Pepe, I need you to sit down and not fucking move. Okay, you're pissing me off. So my experience with this, I guess, is more that than it is health and fitness. It is, I have historically done really well work-wise and then fucked it up on purpose. And in the past, what that's looked like is relapsing, obviously went through drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. So that's one way I've had a fear of success. And then likewise with just workflow, getting into a really, really, really good place with work, and then getting a dog, or I don't know, starting something or stopping something, just throwing a spanner in it for some reason.
There's one thing I've been working on recently, and it's my expectations of myself. Yeah. And I think where me and you go wrong is we want to grow consistently in every area of our life.
At all times.
And if we're not, then it's okay, our mind's telling us if we're not growing, we're going back, or we're going to end up failing, or it's going to be all shits up again. So where your business might be growing, you're then going, oh, but my personal life isn't. I'm not growing as a person. I thought I'd have a dog at this point. My expectations was I'd be in a relationship or this, so maybe I need to get that to make myself feel like I've grown to this new level. That's why people jump into relationships or get married quickly, because the expectation of where they need to be in their life. If you start to change the way you think about growth, and this is something I've been working on, especially with my business, I grew a lot last year. And my expectation was grow harder this year. Keep that growth going, push it. But what I realized my expectation should have been this year is okay, you grew last year. Is this sustainable? Can you make this sustainable? So sustainable that it's cruising. This is my now new level, and then you grow again. Because the issue with growth is if you're growing and growing and growing and growing, your foundational level is back where you was at failure. And you've actually not quite got that, you're just going up and up and up and up the hill, but you've not laid camp. You've not had time to kind of go, all right, let's just sit here for a bit and make sure we can still survive at this level, because you're so concentrating on growth. And at some point, a branch is going to break. And when that branch breaks, you ain't press save on the way up. And sometimes you need to create these new levels of like, okay, I've worked my ass off for a year and you've done really well. You've grown amazingly. Let's just take the pressure off work and make this sustainable. And now let's try and grow your personal life for a bit. Grow that to a similar level. And then again, let's make this a bit more sustainable. And now what's happening is you're going into sustainability, growing, sustainability. Very much that weight loss, and it's very much that weight gain. Sometimes you need to lose weight, but then you need to realize, can you keep this weight off for a little bit? Can you let your body get used to this new low or this new high? Because you can lose weight really quickly, but most of the time people put it back on really quickly because you haven't got used to the lifestyle that you need to be there. So sometimes when you're thinking about your health and fitness, your work, this, because you're so driven, you go. When you have these fuck it moments and you blow it, that branch breaks, it's feel like it's bringing you back down to zero every time.
So what that reminds me of is a conversation that I once had with my therapist, and I don't know what it was that triggered it, but what we sort of identified was that I really have a aversion to the fact that life is actually on a daily basis inherently fucking boring and monotonous and stable. And I have like a fear of stability even. And so when everything feels very monotonous, even if I'm secure and safe, I need to rock the boat because it doesn't feel exciting enough. And I wonder if we all just, you know, and this is something I tell my clients. I'm like, okay, what you're doing now, you just need to accept that that is the way that you live now. And, you know, if you are fighting against the fact that it feels very repetitive and monotonous and routine and whatnot, then you're always going to end up tripping yourself up because that's just the way it is for if you want X goal. And I just look back on my life and I've always uprooted my life in a point where I've been really stable. Like that's what I did with getting this dog, Pepe. Like I got to a place where coaching was going really well, had a big cash injection over Christmas and New Year where I could finally just breathe, and gains was going really well, and I was very clear on what I wanted to do next year. I could have started this year from a really comfortable, calm, peaceful place, and I decided to get a puppy, and every single day was an added layer of stress over that, right?
Not just a puppy, probably the worst breed that you could have got.
Yeah, the worst breed of puppy known to man as well. But it was the same like in a relationship as well. Uprooted the relationship because I wasn't even 100% sure whether it was the right thing to do, but it was very stable. It was a very healthy relationship, and I uprooted that. You know, I think that part of it could be a fear of success, a fear of like everything's too good to be true, must destroy it somehow. Could be that. It could be just an addiction to the struggle, addiction to the chaos and the climb, because that feels rewarding. It feels like I'm doing enough or something.
But that's why you need to start getting rewards elsewhere. And this is why people take up like golf, cycling, gardening, things that you look at as boring. Yeah. Oh, you're getting old, getting gardening. There's a bit of a negativity around it. But when you're gardening and you're planting your plants and you're watching them grow and you're giving them a bit of attention, it takes your mind off all that stressful shit that you got going on with work and stuff like that, like where, yes, you want to put effort into this business and make it grow and make it go super, super fast. But with something like gardening, it's just really simple, really mundane. And you actually need more of that. You need to push into more of that because that stuff's what's going to bring you flipping.
So
blood pressure
interestingly,
down.
I have been doing something recently called the Artist's Way. Do you know what that is?
No.
So Dochi, it's a really old book. I think it was written in like the 80s or 90s by some actress or whatever. It's like creative recovery. So it's like the 12-step fellowship of AA or whatever, but for for creativity, right? And Dochi did it, and she made a YouTube series about it. This is before she was famous, and people started just going back on her YouTube, discovering it, and it was going viral, right? So I bought this Artist's Way, and I've been doing it. So one of the things that it gets you to do is do these morning pages every day, which is basically like 2 to 3 pages of journaling, thought stream every single morning, right? The other thing that it gets you to do is to go on an artist's date every single week, something, and it gets you to figure out like what these artist dates could be that interest you, blah, blah, blah. I've been doing the morning pages nearly every day now for about 6 weeks. I have not gone on one artist's date. Not one. Just haven't made time for myself to do all those things that you're talking about, to take my mind off all the other things. I do not make time for myself whatsoever. I haven't been on one artist day, and every week I journal about how I didn't do an artist date, and I still don't do one the next week.
But the thing is, what you're going to understand is this uprooting, yeah? This getting comfortable, uprooting, rebuilding, getting comfortable, uprooting. Sometimes the roots will come undone without you even trying. But as you get older, you ain't still going to have the energy to keep growing. You ain't going to still have the energy to get the roots out and rebuild. You just ain't going to be that spring chicken. Also, your relevance to be able to rebuild yourself, that's a privilege to be able to rebuild yourself. Like, it's going to go away. It's going to get harder and harder and harder because time, it doesn't care. So it's like you need to figure out what's going on. You know, the person that wrote in, it's like, why are you getting to these points where you feel like you need to have a blowout, go mental? Like, why can't it be half a blowout? Why can't it be a few drinks with a friend and then go home? Why does it have to be complete destruction of everything around to then feel like you need to rebuild this whole structure and routine again? Because you can keep doing that, but that pattern will eventually you'll come unstuck because you won't have the energy to keep rebuilding yourself. Yeah.
So, okay, what in all respects, so let's say like work, let's say your health and fitness journey, anything that could be going well, a relationship, how can we identify when we could about to sabotage it?
Well, I think when you feel like it's getting to a good point, when you feel like your health and fitness is getting to a good point, yeah? Or you let's say you're trying to get ripped and you starting to feel like, okay, I'm taking my top off and I can look in the mirror and go, I'm feeling really good. Just take a few weeks to stay there. Don't keep trying to get more ripped. Don't keep trying to push yourself even more. Just say to yourself, okay, I am looking actually for the first time in a while and I'm feeling really good. Can I stay here for 4 weeks? Can I stay in this position for 4 to 5 weeks? Just get comfortable with how that is. Rather than trying to go to the next stage and then next week you look at yourself and go, well, I've not changed this week. And, why am I not changing? I'm putting all the effort in. All of a sudden you can feel that you start to get a bit triggering. Well, if I'm doing all this effort and I'm not getting the outcome I want, fuck it, I might as well go eat this. Or it's the same with work and business. I'm putting all this thing, I'm doing all this marketing and people are not buying my product. Well, fuck it. What's the point? I can't be asked anymore. It's impossible. So, well, no. You're doing okay at the minute. Let's see if you can just coast there. Because I, especially with business, I get to that point and I start losing my shit where I go, put all this effort into like a campaign launch and that, and it just flops. And I'll go, what? I better give up business.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, you're not, because you're going to start another business.
So I feel like if there was something to encapsulate that, it's getting comfortable with stability. Like getting to a place where you're stable and trying to just sit in that stability without rocking the boat too much.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting comfortable. I think it's practice. Practice stability. Like, you can grow, you can push yourself out of the box. practice, can you be stable? Can you have stability in your life? That will be a new skill. Because growth is a good skill, but stability is a better skill. I look at this as like, you know, when I speak to my friends who have like good years at work, and then I think about, you know, I've had a really good year last year with the business and stuff like that. But then I look at like, okay, so how other people can have bigger houses and things like that when they've had good years? It's like, because they've had good years consistently. You've grown well for 1 year. So, okay, well, how can I now make that consistent? How can I practice a bit of stability? So if I do this, if I stay stable for 3 years, this then becomes a really stable place for me rather than keep pushing growth, because growth causes anxiety, and that anxiety causes you to make stupid fucking decisions.
Yeah, I'm really relating this to gains at the minute, and, you know, feeling like I need to... Pepe, you hit my microphone. Like feeling like I need to constantly be launching new stuff and growing and looking like the brand is really exciting when actually it's causing me more stress. And I just need to have a few months where we don't have a huge brand event and new concept launching. Like it's just Run Club and Rush and Fold.
Yeah, and also I think like at them moments, it's again, start to look at like, what have I been not concentrating on? Like I've been concentrating on launches, I've been concentrating on making this so excited. But what have I missed? Have you been missing your actually the finance of the business? Have you been missing the boring stuff? Like, okay, where am I skipping? What conversations am I skipping? You know, is my tax in order? Am I doing all the boring stuff? Have I got my contracts? And like, when there's time where you don't do the exciting stuff, do the boring stuff, because then at least then you feel like you're still doing something. You don't need to just take your foot off the pedal.
But you're not rocking the boat, you're actually mending it.
Yeah, you're just actually like making it stable. You like go, okay, we've got a wicked boat here, but now let's make it like a decent boat so we can propel, because you can drive growth and you can drive in many areas of your life. But if you're not ready, if your business ain't ready, it will break. And you can think your business or life, career is in the most amazing place and there's no way this growth could stop. Look at some of the biggest companies that go like that. Peloton, for example.
Hey.
Look at Peloton, who was like, growth, driving it up through. And then all of a sudden someone went, you can come out of lockdown now and you don't need to burn your bike. And it went, oh, we haven't created that stability.
There's only so much you're in control of. But I just want to, because they said, I end up blowing it. I go on a bender, ghost my friend, stop going to the gym, right? So I think that there's also a level there of what are your values? What are your boundaries? You know, it sounds like they're not living in alignment with actually what they truly want and need for themselves right now. So,
yeah, I think design what that stability looks like to you. So then if stability to you looks like, or maintenance, if we talk about it in fitness terms, if maintenance look like you should be able to have one evening a week where you have a Five Guys and relax and have 2 beers. If that's what your maintenance looks like and you've planned that in, now it's not so much of a problem if you went out at the weekend. But if you're trying to push yourself and get ripped and grow, that weekend relaxation probably isn't in that plan. So it feels like a failure. When actually, if you're in a bit more maintenance and you go, my coach says to me, 1 day a week, just chill, don't do anything. So then when I have like yesterday when I had my bit of a binge, yes, I probably went over the top, but it ain't the end of the world because I kind of had the day to relax anyway. You know what I mean? So you got to reframe how these feel, because yes, you might feel like shit after, but it's probably because the pressure that you're putting on yourself, where you're thinking that shouldn't have been in my week and it happened. And if it happened and it shouldn't have been a week, you feel like a failure, therefore there's guilt, therefore like just, you know, doesn't feel great. But if you go, like, let's speak about your business, how you put so much pressure on yourself. So if you went out on a Saturday and got wrecked, Sunday, you'd probably not want to work. Monday, you're going to feel really guilty that you didn't do any work, yeah? But if you say to yourself, you know what, for this time, I'm going to give myself a day to relax, and Sunday is going to be my day off. I'm not going to do any work, and Monday I'll get back to work. Now, all of a sudden, if you just reframed it, that weekend ain't that bad. You've not got the pressure of like, oh, you should have worked your ass off yesterday and you sat on the sofa eating fucking Five Guys. It's like, that was your day off, mate. Of course you could. You're allowed to.
I mean, he's used the word bender. So that says to me that it wasn't maybe just one night or it's affected like the week after and stuff like that. So
Rein it in.
Yeah, it's there needs to be some control around that. And if you feel like you can't control it, that's the problem.
Yeah. It's hard for me to, I'm sitting there giving all the bloody, feel like I'm giving all the answers, but I don't have a relationship to alcohol and drugs where I have one or two and it ends in 5 to 10. But I know a lot of people do have that, or have 2 beers and it ends up in a packet of white powder. You know what I mean? Like it can happen a lot. So if you're finding that certain things that you do end up in like a bender, probably start to look at your triggers and why is it ending that way?
Yeah.
Who's calling your phone? Who are you going out with?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's all well and good what we've just spoken about, but like if it's a bender, that is territory of like I think you need to go for a period of time where you I mean, it sounds maybe that's what he's doing already, but
do you think I don't agree with these periods of time?
Well, that's what I just stopped myself because I thought, well, actually, if he's killing it and he's what's the word, like feast and famine, right? It's like famine for so long, then you feast.
Well,
right?
We spoke about sex on our last podcast, where you're going, I'm not having sex, and you get to this panic mode where you go, if I'm not having sex, I'm going to end up binging on sex, yeah? If you're not putting in the relaxation, you're going to end up having the benders. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you really practice balance of like every week have a drink or forcing yourself to do it without it going to that level, then you will start to understand how to use alcohol but have a better relationship with it. But if you look, I don't want to look at it, and eventually you have it, it's like it goes feast and famine. You go crazy again.
So in that case, there needs to be boundaries then. I always think about something you've mentioned before, which is values, boundaries, and sacrifice, right? And how to leverage all 3 of those things. And, a value being like something like I am or I am not going to drink anymore. Like you and I both don't drink anymore. It's a value of ours, right? Boundary, something that you want to set limitations on. Sacrifice, something that you let go for a period of time in order to reach a goal. So like being really clear on your values, boundaries, and sacrifices across any aspect of like training, nutrition, relationships, work. Like you can set values, boundaries, and sacrifices around all of those. And if you're very clear on them, then you can act in alignment with them. And then if you waver from it, it's okay, but you can go back. But if you don't have those 3 things set, then you're kind of like opening up yourself for setting yourself up for failure because you have no guardrails to sort of stick to. So maybe person that's written in, I think you should think about what are your values around your lifestyle? What are your boundaries that feel really natural for you to create? I.e., I don't want to stay up past X time, or I don't want to drink every single weekend, or I'm only going to drink for certain special events or something like that. And maybe there's a sacrifice that you want to make for a period of time to see if your life is better without it and bring it back at a period of time. Be really clear on those things. Use those as a guardrail, try and stick to those and then try not to go through this feast and famine cycle. See if you can get yourself to a point where you are comfortable with stability and you're comfortable with the amount of balance and relaxation that you have, and see if you can get yourself to a place where you don't have to blow out. You don't feel the need to blow out.
Yeah, and a disclaimer, it's easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at me and you.
Yeah.
We've been trying to do
3 chocolate chip cookies last night.
But we've been trying to nail this for many, many years. I look at my career and I think like my advice to people is obviously coming from a place of experience, but like it is hard. We're speaking about the promised land, we're speaking about the best case scenario. Like, there is gonna be times you fuck up. Like,
I can't with this one today. You've been pissing me off so much today.
He's speaking
You've been terrible.
There's on the video. He's speaking to his dog, by the way, not the.
Oh, sorry, not you.
Yeah. Not our producer. Just...
All right, should we do pump and dump? Okay, so these are all social engagement type things. Okay.
Dump.
Yeah. 1, dinners out on weeknights.
You pump. Yeah, pump.
Really?
Yeah.
No, dump. Do not invite me to literally anything.
But that's why you're going wrong, because then at the weekend you've got too much time. Wednesday night, go for a dinner, get up to the next day, get back on with it. I think that's a better way to restructure your week.
Really?
Yeah.
It throws me out of my routine. So stop moving, Pepe. Okay, 2, asking someone if they're free at a date and time before saying what the event is. So, hey mate, are you free on this day at this time? Well, it very much depends on what you want me for.
Well, I will always ask why.
Yeah.
Oh, because I need you. No.
If somebody does that to me, I'm like, you fucking bitch.
I just say why. I will literally, the first thing I'll put back is why.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening to this and you are that person that says, are you free on this date and time? Do not do that.
Or someone goes, 28th of February, book it out.
Yeah.
Oh, what for?
What now?
Yeah. You're not coming to my house here.
3, whole groups of friends on Find My Friends. Do you know what that is?
No, thanks.
It's because we don't have friends. So it's like, like Find My iPhone, but
I
Find
know
My
what
Friends.
It is. No, thanks.
My ex-boyfriend's whole friendship group were on that, and they would know where everyone was at all times.
That's just
where the person was hooking up at.
No.
It is. I'm not ever going on that. I don't think I'm even putting that with a partner. 4, weddings.
Pump.
Dumb. They're getting out of hand, bro.
No, I like a good wedding. I like getting dressed up, seeing a bit of love, and eating some free food.
Nah, I'm a massive dump on weddings.
No.
I just think they're getting out of control these days. I think people are getting married for the wrong reasons. I think they're getting married too soon. I think they're turning it into a fucking show. I think the bride is living out her fairy tale childhood dream at the inconvenience of literally everybody else in her life. You
sound like a gay single guy with a dog.
Okay, 5, stag or hen parties abroad.
Pump, bro.
Dump again. What do you mean my only holiday this year is going to be going on your fucking stag or hen do? Absolutely not. Listen, it in the fucking...
When you are a 37-year-old married man with 2 kids, you're waiting for any opportunity to just break the norm. So someone goes, I got a stag do in RB for the weekend. That's once in a blue moon, mate. That's like hitting the lottery. And it's a stag do, so my wife can't barred me from it or come.
I'm like, no, I get sort of like really realistically like 1 like long holiday a year, usually over Christmas and New Year, because that's when my business is quietest. And like, I'm being really frugal at the minute. I'm trying to save to get a mortgage. Like, no, I do not want to go on an abroad hen do. Like, literally do a meal. Do a meal in London. That's all you need. You do not need a whole holiday. And then you expect me to go to your abroad wedding as well? Are you crazy? Like, I just think it's so out of hand these days.
Look where the last abroad wedding got us.
Yeah, exactly.
Skin.
Exactly.
Skin and no mates.
Literally. I got in so much credit card debt for that holiday because, I hadn't set up my coaching business at the time. I was broke.
Oh, so expensive.
And you had a wedding there, and I have to get all these outfits for it, and the flights and the hotel, because you're getting married in a 4 or 5-star hotel and everyone's staying there. Like, I got in so much debt for that fucking holiday so you can take a nice photo. Like, I just think weddings and stag and hen do's are so fucking selfish these days. Stop it.
Listen, I did my wedding. I think it cost us like 1,500 quid.
Yeah, I didn't even get an invite.
Exactly.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah. Look at the pictures. Congrats.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Normalize not inviting your friends and your family to your wedding. What?
You wasn't here.
Was I not?
No, you was away.
Was I?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
You was away. for that time.
Oh, where was I away?
I cannot remember, but I know you was away. 100% you was away. You was in... No, you was somewhere.
I was pretty sure I was here.
No, you was not here. You was 100% away, because I can remember last minute I said to you and Jay, are you here? And
last minute. Charming. Yeah.
Well, that's because I decided to have a few friends.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like, I didn't need to be there for your wedding. I could look at the photos and go, congrats, Louis. Great. Didn't spend a penny. Still got to say congrats. You know, felt nice and emotional looking at the photos. You made a nice little video. Felt like I was there. All weddings should do that. Get married in private. Get a nice videographer, nice photographer. It's going to be much cheaper for you. Send it to everyone saying we got married. Nobody has to go out of their way and spend money for your special day, because it's not their special day.
No.
Wow.
And everyone's there just worried about money.
Is this why I'm single?
Well, 100%. That and I could give you another 1,000 reasons. We don't have another 45 minutes, but, you know.
Charming. That was Lots of Sin Games with your boy Connor. Hope that helped. And what's your name?
Louis.
Thanks. Our guest. Thank you. I hope you got some value from that. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Send us questions, DM us, comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube, or DM us any questions that you want us to cover. We got you, boo-boo. Love ya.
Bye. Don't kiss.
I didn't. I went...